Single-family home prices in Miami-Dade must be part of a Snoop Dogg song because they are dropping like it's hot. Everybody, I got some good news for you guys today. A little bit of mixed news. We're going to be talking about everything from median sale price for condos and single-family homes, and we're looking at inventory, both supply and new listings in Miami-Dade County. So definitely stick around to the end of this video. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent. And I'm really excited to share this little update with you guys because, you know, we're almost to the end of January, so we can take a look at the data, see what we got so far, use a little bit of mathematics with my old friend Pythagoras, and we're gonna be able to extrapolate the data and decide, you know, kind of where are we gonna land at the end of January, what are the trends that are going on, so we can make the best informed decision for ourselves and for our families, okay? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and decide our way into this data. That made no sense. First thing I wanna show you guys here is this little griggity graph that is median sale price versus number of sales for Miami-Dade. So this looks like a crazy drop off of a cliff, like Wile E. Coyote style, but keep in mind that the month of January is not done. It is January 26th when I'm filming this, but single family home median sale price versus number of sales. We see that median sale price has continued to go upward as far as its trajectory in the grand scheme of things, but for the last 3 months right here in a row, it has been decreasing. So since October, it's been decreasing when median sale price met $575,000 right here, which was also the same median sale price that we had at our market peak back in May, also $575,000 in May of 2022. So at the current number here of $526,000, that's a month-over-month decrease of only 0.9% from January. So you can barely see that little decrease right there. That's 0.9%, okay? I have a hair like floating on my eyebrow. Now, that's a decrease that's still there. Okay, we're keeping that in the video. It's a decrease of 8.5% from October and May of those peaks, okay? So, you know, that's a pretty big difference right there, and that's why I said they're dropping like it's hot, because 8.5% decrease in Miami is the biggest decrease that we've seen, I mean, certainly on this graph, which goes since January of 2019, you know, so, I mean, hey, take the wins where you can get them. You know, that looks like a pretty good little precipitous drop in my opinion. So, you know, that's a big enough difference, basically, although it doesn't make up the doubling of rates, okay? So when we say it's a big drop, right, yeah, you know, you got 8.5%, but rates used to be 3%, sub 3%. Now they're like just over 6. So the rule of 10x in real estate tells us that for every 1% that interest rates raise, you should normally see about a 10% decrease in prices because buyers have lost about 10% of purchasing power. So you'd expect to see about a 30% drop based on a 3% increase in interest rates, actually a little bit more from the trough, the bottom. But because of supply and demand ratios, that's not what we've seen, okay? So I told y'all in previous videos not to expect the same type of decreases in Miami-Dade as we'll see in other parts of the country, and that will probably remain one of the most stable, and here's the proof in the pudding, okay? So, you know, that's also why I always say that time in the market beats timing the market, okay? So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, get your foot in the door, get in the market, and over time, real estate always gains in value if you hold it for long enough, okay? That might sound like a rosy picture, but it's true. It's really true. Now, if you're only going to be holding that property for like a couple years, 2-3 years, then definitely you want to have a much higher, you know, threshold of caution there. So what's remarkable in this graph, though, is the drastic slowdown in sales. So if we adjust for the time left in January and for a 3-day margin of error for when agents and brokers are required to upload their closed sales to the MLS, then we can expect a number of sales, the blue line there, at the end of January to come in somewhere between 453 to 512 closed sales for single-family homes, which is insanely low, like insane clown posse low. And in fact, that's the lowest number on record. And it's actually between a 33.1 and 40.8% decrease from the month before. Okay, so month over month decrease, of what we should have at the end of this month. From the month before, 33 to 40%, almost 41%. That's crazy, okay? And the 765 was already a super crazy historical low. So it's normal to have less sales in January, but these numbers are historically low due to interest rates, low supply, and uncertain macro and microeconomic factors. We're not going to go into all that in the video. We're just looking at the data, and I'm giving you a little context so you can understand. Go like read Bloomberg or watch some of my other videos if you want more context on what's happening in the economy as a whole. It ain't looking great, you know what I'm saying? So let's look at the next graph here. And, this is like, I'm only laughing because it's like one of those, like, you got to laugh to stop yourself from crying type of things. So let me get this graph sized out here pretty nice. Okay, so condos, median sale price versus number of sales. Median sale price has been a little more sideways than single family homes. You can see that here, the green line. It's kind of like just like bouncing back and forth like a pinball. And, they actually look like they're going to be coming in higher in January at 400,000 than they did in December at 375. Okay. So, that's actually a 6.7% increase month over month. So while single family homes 3 months in a row have been dropping on down like it's hot, Snoop Dogg callback, condos are actually look like they're increasing, okay? Now, it's $25,000 increase, but again, that's a 6.7% increase if that's what actually happens, and it's actually only a 3.6% decrease from the market peak back in May of 2022, which was 415,000, okay? So, I mean, only 15,000 less than the market peak. Guess what? If you have a condo to sell, you're pretty close to the market peak still. So, maybe it's a good time to sell. Maybe it's a good time to call Jake Fletcher, your Miami real estate agent. My contact's in the description down below. I don't know. It's your decision. So now, again, with this graph, the real story here is the number of sales, okay? So adjusted for that, the 3-day margin of error and the time left in the month, we can expect sales in January to come in between 639 to 722. Now, again, these numbers are incredibly low. We actually haven't seen condo sales that low since April and May of 2020, okay? And we all know it was happening then. That's when things had pretty much frozen in the real estate market and kind of like internationally too. So, that's pretty wild. We're going to keep watching it and see what happens. Next graph here I want to show y'all is single family homes supply versus new listings, okay? So the total supply of single family homes in Miami-Dade as of this video's recording on January 26th. It's not 2026 yet, Jake. Relax, okay? It's 2023, okay? But the number of supply as of the recording, January 26th, is 4,481, which is pretty low, but it's a lot better shape than when we were in our low back in March of 2022, when there was only 3,302 listings, okay? So that's a 35.7% increase. So yay. And it's normal to see this slight decrease in the holiday season. So, hopefully mortgage rates keep going down, and that incentivizes more people to want to sell, thus normalizing supply levels, okay? So we can see that there's a slight uptick in the number of new listings here, which we went from, which is at right now, it's at 1,216, since December of 2022, when we had a record low for recent years of only 1,069. Crazy. So that's actually a 13.7% increase so far month over month. And if we adjust for the days left and that little 3-day margin of error, then the final number of new listings should be between 1,449 and 1,638, which would be a little low in the grand scheme of things, but it wouldn't really be too out of the ordinary compared to a lot of the numbers that we saw throughout 2022 here. So, if we end up, kind of in this range range here. You can see how that's not like too crazy out of line with a lot of what happened in 2022. So that's a good sign, okay? So we're going to be keeping an eye on that as well. And if new listings came in between that range, it would be a month-over-month increase of between 35.5% and 53.2%. So that's big, right? So that sounds really optimistic. Hopefully the numbers that we're kind of deriving there actually are what happened. But of course, we need more than 1 month for it to make a trend. Okay, so again, we're going to be keeping an eye on that. We're going to be watching out for that new inventory number. And now I would like to take this opportunity to talk to you guys about condos. All right, so condo supply versus new listings. So we're doing the same graphs except for condominiums instead of single family homes. The total supply of condos so far in January is at 7,451, which is also super low historically, but it's also 16.8% higher than the low of April 2022, that was the trough, the bottom of supply. So that's cool, so not as much of an increase as our single family homes, which was like 35%, right? But it's also, the number of inventory is greater overall. So it takes bigger numbers to swing those percentages for than it does for single family homes, if that makes sense. All right. So because there's a greater number of condos, we need to see a greater number of new listings and, the active number of supply to really swing those percentages, okay? So kind of makes sense, at least in my brain it does. Now, we also had a bump in new listings at 1,801 so far in January versus 1,581 in December. So that's a current increase of 13.9%. Our adjusted new listings for January should come in between 2,147 and 2,427, okay? So that would be a month-over-month increase over the historical lows of December 2022, which was last month, right, of between 35.8% and 53.5%. So almost exactly mirroring the increase of single family homes percentage-wise. So also, yay. All right. So here's my conclusions, guys. As your real estate professional, as your trusted friend in Miami real estate, here's what I think about all this. So prices have flexed downward more in single family homes than they have for condos, but that doesn't mean that you can't get a deal in either of those categories, as my clients will know, because we're making it happen. We're making deals happen left and right. Well, I guess it would be left and right on your screen. I don't know how cameras work. Just kidding. So one thing I have been telling people a lot lately is to remember that the deal is not in the purchase price. Is not in the list price. The deal is in the purchase price, okay? What do I mean? People are still trying to list properties for what they would have got last year, okay? But that's not what they're selling them for. So the deal is not in the list price. It's not in what they're asking. You're not gonna look and see a property and it's like, whoa, that's a great deal. Looks like they're underpriced that, isn't it? No, they're still trying to get like crazy prices, but if you see the sale prices, that's where the deal is. That's where you're seeing like, whoa, this property sold for 80% of the list price or 90% or, things like that. So another takeaway here is that sales are way down, which means that there's way less competition for you as a buyer. And with interest rates having dropped a little bit from 7 to about 6%, you could potentially buy that rate down into the 5% range pretty easily, which may be about as good of a rate as you're gonna see in the near to medium term future. Potentially rates might not even get back into the 4s for the rest of this decade, okay? Now, nobody knows what's gonna happen. That's just what like smart brainiac people are saying, is that like the days of, 3 and 4% interest rates are long gone. So if you can get something into the 5s, then, if they do potentially get back into the 4s, then you can potentially refinance, okay? Now, reach out to me if you want some more info on that. And, in my opinion, this is a big reason, this competition thing is a big reason why it's a pretty good time to buy right now. Because if you think about the last year or two before this, really last few years now, there was so much competition. People were like waiving inspections, waiving appraisals, $100,000 over list price. That ain't happening right now. So, if you're a qualified buyer and you're thinking, hey, I need to buy or I want to buy, right now might actually be a pretty good time. And again, as my clients can testify, we be getting deals, son. So, one thing though, on the flip side of this, however, is that once other people start to catch wind of this, like if they're, people who aren't watching my channel, who aren't on the vanguard, on the cutting edge of the market like you are, once those people start to catch wind of this and realize that there's, less competition right now, then there will be more competition, and then prices are going to likely keep rising in the long term because of that, increased competition, increased demand, right? So check out my prediction video for the Miami 2023 real estate market on screen right here. And you can see what my personal expectations are for what's going to happen this year. Now, as far as inventory, overall, things are off of the all-time lows, which is fantastic. But with high rates and uncertain economic realities, I think we could continue to see a slump in new listings here in the near future, which will also put upward price pressure on median sale prices, okay? If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, drop me a comment down below. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. And always, 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 always smash the like button. And don't forget, guys, my contact info's in the description down below if you'd like to reach out. I'd love to help you out, treat you like family. I love everybody who watches these videos. You guys are amazing, and I can't wait to keep doing these videos for you guys. So Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group. I don't know why I just saluted you, but I did. It happened. And, I'm your Miami real estate agent, so hit me up, give me a call, reach out, carrier pigeon, DM, text, WhatsApp, whatever you want to do. I'm here to help you guys out, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.